If Madeline Hart had known who the janitor really was, she wouldn't have scolded him in front of the elevator. She wouldn't have rolled her eyes when he held the door open. She wouldn't have said, "Can you move? You're in the way," while stepping over the wet floor he'd just mopped. But that morning, she didn't see a powerful man in disguise. She saw a custodian, wrinkled uniform, silver-streaked hair, mop in hand, clearly beneath her in status, and certainly not worth remembering. Until 5 days later, when that same man walked into the boardroom in a custom-tailored suit and sat at the head of the table, the CEO's chair. Madeline Hart, age 23, marketing intern and Ivy League graduate, didn't come to fade into the background. She was fast, confident, and meticulously styled for power: tan heels, a blazer that meant business, and a killer resume to match. She already imagined herself climbing the ranks of Greystone & Company, the elite branding firm she had joined just 2 weeks earlier. Every conversation was a performance. Every move was calculated. Every person she met was an opportunity or an obstacle. The janitor? Definitely the latter. She'd noticed him every morning, quiet, slow-moving, always in the way when she was in a rush. He never complained, but his silence annoyed her. It felt like indifference. Almost disrespect. One morning, coffee in one hand and phone in the other, she snapped, "You know, if you're going to mop this area during peak hours, maybe be a little faster?" He looked up, calm as ever. "Yes, ma'am. I'll try to be quicker." He wasn't being sarcastic. But she didn't say thank you. She just walked away. To the rest of the staff, the janitor was just part of the furniture, present, unnoticed, silent. But what no one knew was that the man with the mop was actually Richard Greystone, the founder and CEO of the company, who had returned undercover. He had done this once a decade. Acquier tradition. A way to see his company through fresh eyes. He watched how people treated each other when they thought status didn't matter. When promotions weren't on the line. When no one was looking. And this time, someone did catch his eye. Madeline Hart. She was brilliant, but sharp-edged. Quick with ideas, but even quicker with judgment. He didn't hate her. In fact, she reminded him of himself, years ago, before life taught him what real leadership meant. He decided to test her. The internship program was competitive. Only 2 candidates would be offered full-time jobs. Madeline saw her fellow interns as friendly competition, emphasis on competition. She corrected them in meetings, subtly outshone their presentations, and always managed to slip her name into executive conversations. No one could deny her talent. But everyone felt the chill when she walked into the room. One afternoon, an intern named Jonah dropped his papers near the elevator. As he scrambled to gather them, the janitor bent down to help. Madeline stepped around them, barely sparing a glance. "They won't promote you for cleaning up his mess," she said under her breath, half joking. The janitor just smiled. "Some messes aren't mine to clean, but I try anyway." Friday morning arrived with buzz in the air. A mysterious all-hands meeting had been announced in the auditorium. No agenda. No explanation. Just a subject line: leadership in action. Every department was there. Executives lined the front row. Interns squirmed nervously in the back. Then he entered. No mop. No blue jumpsuit. Just a charcoal suit, polished shoes, and the quiet confidence of someone who owned the building. Madeline's jaw dropped. It was him. The janitor. No, Richard Greystone, the man she had spent 2 weeks ignoring. He walked up to the podium and surveyed the room. "Good morning," he began. "If I've passed you in the hallway over the last 2 weeks, you probably didn't recognize me. That was the point. Whisper spread like wildfire. For 14 days, I've been working among you, not as your CEO, but as your janitor. Not to spy. To observe. Not how you act around executives, but how you treat people when you think they don't matter." He paused. His gaze locked briefly with Madeline's. "And I learned a lot. I saw some incredible things," Richard continued. "One of our accountants brought me lunch one day, thinking I couldn't afford my own. I saw a junior designer hold the elevator for me, twice, even when she was late. That's the culture we want." He looked solemn now. "But I also saw arrogance. Impatience. People dismissing others based on uniforms." No names were mentioned. But Madeline felt every word like a personal spotlight. She thought about every ignored smile, every cold word, every time she acted like someone else's role was beneath her. Later that day, her badge beeped at the glass door of conference room 7B. Inside was Richard, back in his suit, sipping coffee and reading her file. "Madeline," he said, offering a seat.
Let's talk.
She sat, trying not to fidget. "Sir, You don't need to explain. I already know who you are. Smart. Driven. Efficient." He closed the folder. "But tell me this honestly, do you respect people only when they can help you?" She swallowed hard. "I didn't realize I was doing that. But maybe I did." He nodded.
Madeline, ambition is fire.
"It can cook your meal or burn your house down.
The choice is yours."
Her eyes filled, just a little. "I want to do better. I just thought this was how you win." Richard smiled faintly. "Kindness is not weakness. The best leaders lift others, not just themselves."
8. Rédemption in progress.
She changed. Not overnight, but gradually. Authentically. She started greeting the janitorial team by name. She offered help to interns who struggled. She stopped treating kindness like a currency and started treating people like people. 3 months later, she was asked to lead a team project. And this time, she shared credit. She lifted voices that were once drowned by her own. Richard returned one last time before the intern program ended. This time, he didn't wear a disguise. He sat in the back during her presentation on branding with heart. She spoke about the power of empathy in business, of authenticity in communication. She used stories, true stories, of overlooked workers and unseen potential. At the end, she looked straight at him and said, "Leadership is not a title. It's how you treat the person you think has nothing to offer you." The room applauded. But Richard's nod was the only approval she truly needed. 10. The offer letter. A week later, an envelope arrived at her desk. Her hands trembled as she opened it. "Dear Madeline, we'd like to formally offer you a full-time position as Associate Brand Strategist at Greystone & Company. Welcome to the team. We believe in second chances, and in people who grow. Richard Greystone." She read the note twice. Then she stood, walked to the janitor's closet, knocked gently, and handed a thank you card to the man sweeping inside. "Just in case you're not undercover," she said with a smile. "I wanted to say I see you now,